Most churches of Christ don't have a good social media plan. And when you look at the Facebook pages of lots of churches, there's just not a lot of great content there. There's maybe some content that's helpful for members and maybe some promoting of events like VBS or gospel meetings, which may bring some outsiders in, but there's just not a lot of very engaging content, especially evangelistic type content on most social media posts by churches of Christ, at least in my experience. I really think this is a missed opportunity for churches to really reach the lost online. I think that social media is a great way for us to engage people, and we are missing that opportunity by posting things that don't really necessarily bring a lot of value to most people in most cases. Now, there are a lot of methods for social media posts that have been successful for various churches, and there are a lot of things that I could encourage you to do, but there's one method that I think has the best chance for churches of Christ to use to reach the lost across the board. And that is creating short vertical videos from the sermon that was preached the previous Sunday and posting those on social media. Now, I'll explain a little bit more about what this looks like in a moment, but this one method would be, in my opinion, the easiest way and perhaps the most effective way for churches to post regular content without having to wonder what to post and have the best chances for those posts to reach a lot of people and to get engagement and to reach the lost. Now let me share with you a real-life example of a short clip we created for a church.
Maybe you're sitting here this morning and your life isn't quite going how you expected it to go. Things are falling apart. Relationships are deteriorating. Addictions have just taken over everything. Life feels totally out of control and unmanageable. And you look at the environment that you're in, you look at the atmosphere that you're experiencing, and you think to yourself, look, I gotta get back to church. I gotta go find Jesus because I can't do this anymore. And following Him will make my life better. He does want to bless you. He does want your life to get back on track. But also, you need to know that it cannot be the driving force for why you follow Jesus. He does want to make your physical life better, but He also wants to give you so much more than that. I cannot promise you comfort or blessings. The one thing I can promise you and guarantee you is that if you serve Jesus and follow Jesus, you will be with Jesus. That's the motivation. That's why we follow Him.
And one of the reasons this is such an effective method is because short form, like 1 minute or less, vertical videos are favored by every social media platform now. We're talking Facebook, we're talking Instagram, we're talking YouTube, and I don't want to talk about TikTok. Probably none of y'all are using that, but that's kind of where it all started, really. Short form vertical video is one of the most effective forms of content in social media right now because it's easy to digest, it's quick, it really grabs your attention because it's a video, and it's also a great way for people to connect personally with the preacher because they actually get to see the preacher preaching. They get a sense of his personality and they get a practical message in that short video that actually adds value to their life and not just, a graphic about an upcoming series, which is good, but that fails to really engage and provide the kind of value that most people are looking for, and that's really going to stop the scroll, particularly if you're not a member of that church. You've never heard of that church, and you just come across this video online. One of the best ways to get people to actually engage is through video, and short video especially. And by the way, let me say this. Churches are already creating a lot of content every single Sunday and Wednesday. When we come together, we are creating content. In a lot of those cases, that content is recorded on video, it's recorded on audio, and I think it's a shame not to repurpose the content that we're already creating. And so that's the beauty also of this method, is that we get to repurpose on purpose the videos from the sermons that were preached on the previous Sunday. Instead of just putting them up on YouTube and hoping that somebody watches the full sermon, we get to take snippets from that sermon and we get to put it out there in a digestible form that provides great value and gets a lot of engagement. So let me explain how the process works and how you can do this for the congregation you're at if you're one of the volunteers at the church who does the social media stuff. So you start with the sermon video, and then you go through and you find the portions of the sermon that are the most likely to get traction online. The portions of the sermon that really seem to resonate, right? Those things that really speak to somebody's life, to things that people are experiencing right now, things that inspire them to draw closer to God, things that inspire them to serve others better, things that motivate them to want to, be more like Christ, or to be better parents, or better spouses, better workers, better students, better friends, how to have more peace, how to have greater fulfillment in your life, how to get rid of guilt through the forgiveness that is in Christ. The portions of the sermon that are the most helpful to the average, ordinary person who may not even know God or Christ and may not even have a church family anywhere. So once you find those portions of the sermon, you want to find sections that are about a minute or less. You want to cut those out of the sermon using a video editing platform, or maybe just find the one out of the ones that you find that you like the most and just cut that one out, because the goal is to post every week. Maybe not every day, but at least post once a week, and this is a great way to do that. Once a week post is through short form vertical video. So once you've clipped the portion or portions of the sermon that you want to use, you want to put it into your video editing program, and you want to make sure that it's set to vertical. You want to trim it to be vertical. And there's two very important things that you need to do in order to help this be effective before you upload it onto a social media platform. And that is, number one, you need to add a hook to the first 3 seconds of the video. The hook needs to be visual, so people need to see the words that say what that hook is at the very beginning of the video. It needs to overlay the video in the first 3 seconds. And the reason this is important is because on some social media platforms like Facebook, people can scroll through and they don't hear the audio of the video, but they will see the video start to play as they're scrolling through. And so it's very important that people visually see the hook for that video that grabs their attention and makes them want to see the rest of the video. So if the video doesn't show the hook, and the hook isn't good, then people are not going to want to watch the video. So you got to come up with a hook, and it's got to be something that grabs their attention. Usually something that piques their curiosity about what is to come, and something that is inherently valuable and interesting to the average ordinary person who is out there. And so let me give you a few examples of some good hooks. This is essential for parenting success. You see how that piques the curiosity? Makes you think, what is essential for parenting success? And by the way, what parent doesn't want to know that? That helps them in their daily life, whether they're a Christian or whether they're not. And they get pulled in and realize, oh, the Bible teaches things to help me be a better parent. Here's another example. The number one reason not to complain. Again, you see how that piques the curiosity? What is that number one reason? I want to know what it is. And everyone knows that complaining is bad. Nobody wants to be a complainer. So when they see that, that draws in the largest possible audience. And let me give you just a few more in rapid fire succession. The 10 most important words you will ever say. Remember this when your life is falling apart. And joy is guaranteed to the Christian. All of those resonate with the average everyday person and pique curiosity. Now, all of those examples that I gave you are real examples of hooks that we at Project Go have used in Facebook Reels and in YouTube Shorts for churches that we work with. And so that was the first important thing to know about these short form vertical videos is you gotta have a good hook and it's gotta be visual. The second important thing for you to know is the video has to have captions. You have to put captions in there that are easy to read. The words need to be big. They need to be placed in a portion of the video that's not going to be overlapped by other elements in the social media platform that you're using. And that's important because a lot of people do watch short form vertical videos like Reels, like YouTube Shorts, with the sound off. So you want them to be able to get the message without even turning on the volume. Now there's a lot more tips that I could give on how to really optimize your short form vertical videos, but those are the two big ones. And so once you do that, put it on your social media platforms. You can repurpose the same piece of content on any social media platform. That's the beauty of short form vertical videos. And when you post it, just put a little bit of text with the message. It doesn't have to be anything big. Usually all I do is I list the hook and then I say, watch the full sermon here. and link to the full video that's on YouTube, or maybe you have it on your website. And that's it. And like I said, I encourage you to do this every single week. Don't miss a week without posting a short form vertical video. Now you might be wondering, is there some kind of AI software that I can use in order to help me do this? The answer is yes, but none of these tools makes it so easy that you don't have to really dig in and still do some work. It takes a lot of discretion to know which clip to use and to make sure that the captions are just right and to add the hook to the beginning of the video and to make sure all the pauses are taken out and the preacher is always in the screen. There's so many things that go into creating these short clips, even when you're using AI software. But wouldn't it be nice if you could have short clips posted for you on your social media platforms every week and you didn't have to lift a finger and you didn't have to rely on a volunteer at the congregation where you go to do it, because everybody's busy, the volunteers are all busy, the preachers are busy, everybody's busy. So wouldn't it be nice if it could just be posted for you? If somebody could go in, find the clips that are the most likely to resonate, add the hook, add the captions, do all the things, and actually post it for you. Well, that is actually a service that we at Project Go provide. It's called Go Social. And we have 3 packages where you can either have 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, or 3 videos a week posted for your congregation to help your congregation reach the lost, and to do it in a way that doesn't add any more work to you or the volunteers at the congregation. The church is already doing the hard work of recording the sermons every week. We can do the rest of the work for you by creating these short clips for social media. So by doing this, you're going to save more time for you or the volunteers at your congregation. You're going to be creating more value for your audience, and you're going to be connecting with the lost, which is the most important part of this. Because our whole mission at Project Go is to help churches of Christ fulfill the Great Commission in a digital world. So if you're interested in this, click the link in the description below to learn more about our social media service called Go Social. And if you'd like to talk to me about us helping your congregation to do this, just let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to set up a call. Thanks so much for watching. Take care and God bless.